Hey, it's Digi. Welcome new and returning subscribers. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell for notifications in the future. Today we are talking about Sentry, and as you can see, I've got about 300 hours in the game, as well as a good handful of the achievements that come along in the game here too. Let's take a look. As you can see, a very low percentage of players actually have these achievements unlocked, which just goes to show, is it the skill gap or is this game going to be dead forever? Well, we're going to find out today with the good, the bad, and the dragons. So I hope you're all buckled in and ready to see some cool content, but also talk about the nitty gritty of what could be better about it. But I think I would like to start on the more positive side. So let's start with a plus. The free Dragoneer Pass. This is amazing. You can get a bunch of different cosmetics for your different riders and each different class as well as aesthetic stuff for your dragons, like armor plates. You get new profile banners, coins, premium currency, and even the dragons themselves too once you get far enough into the level pass, excuse me. As you can see, I'm about level 37 because it does take a bit of grinding to get through this, but I am really excited for the future dragons on the list. That one, and also the level 50 dragon, of course, because that is a legendary, and he is Enoch the Skirmisher. So that'll sure be fun indeed. Alright, and this is my profile. As you can see, I'm a pretty, middle of the road player. Not super great, not super bad either. You can see the hours I've got in most of the classes. I recently unlocked Rhyme Blood, and now I just have one more class to unlock. But all the other ones I've had unlocked for a while. And another positive I want to talk about is all the silver purchasable items in the shop. I think it's amazing that you can get a bunch of different cosmetics or dragons via your silver if you save up. Like I mentioned before, that is a grind as well as the XP, so that is the unfortunate bit about it. But there is so much in here, there's going to be something for everybody. Oh, the eggs are one of my favorite parts. You can actually purchase the egg for a little bit cheaper than an adult dragon, and then raise it yourself by completing some just quick missions. The other side of this is, unfortunately, there is the featured shop with premium currency only items, and as cool as they are, I do have a few myself. It's just not worth buying a $20 singular skin on its own, I think, if you know what I mean. It tends to get a little costly that way, but they do have packs, so I will give them that. There are starter packs and other things, and there is a set number of different dragon breeds. Each one looks pretty much the same in similar shape, but with just different skins, unless they're legendary versions of said dragons, and then they'll have a little bit more to them as well. And then there's the completely different breeds of dragons, the mythic classes, which is the worm, or the cloud splitters with the birds. And the worm here, this is a good pack deal here. So you get the dragon booster and the premium currency. So I'd say it's worth it for the price tag, because as you saw, the other ones were just a bit too much in price tag for singular stuff without any extra added bonus. Also, another thing, you can buy the classes with silver. They are on sale right now, which is a bonus. Yay, I got one more to go. Same with the abilities, got those already. And then you saw the boosters are purchased with gems, and like I said, gems can be quite pricey, as you see here. But another positive I'd like to address in the game is my favorite game mode, and that'll be races, which I'm going to be showcasing here in 1-minute segments, showing off each of the 4 maps. So enjoy!
Gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
That's why I love races. Oh, and this is one of the unfortunate bugs that happens in the game. Sometimes, even when you get in front of the pedestal, you go missing. But thankfully, there's this beautiful animation I got in the Dragon Pass, which is why I suggest the actual season Dragon Pass, because it's only 10 bucks. You get lots of dragons and gear in that as well, and free dragon gearing pass. But I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I love the animations of these dragons. I love how fluid the controls are. I love that you have to be skilled and precise with your movements, and you have to strategize as well as being fast and quick to think on your feet. Because if you don't, you'll be dead. And I can't believe I survived that right there. That was pretty crazy. But there are physics, and I love that too. Like, it makes you work for the challenge of becoming a better rider. Like, and I think it's excellent to have a nice challenging match, which is what you're seeing here is a very challenging PvP match. Like, a pretty equally challenging. It's not so overbearing we can't win, and it's not so, like, easy that it felt boring, if that makes sense. And you can see how crazy and how fast it can get, and each of the riders has different abilities. You're currently seeing phantoms like invisibility barrier, and I do bonus damage when I come out of that, so I try to take advantage of that best I can. Stamina management, as you can see here, is a very important thing, and if I were against higher level players or players who knew more about the game and what they were doing, I'd be dead probably right there. But that, even though we lost by 2 points in the last 3 seconds, was still a fair challenging match. Here, I'm showcasing another Carnage match in which I actually win, but it was about the same kind of like fight and balance there, where it's just like, if you fight for it and you practice your skills, as long as you're in a fair match, you'll be fine. Fair matches are something I'm gonna have to address later though, unfortunately. Don't get me going about that, but I had been very much debating and thinking about making a video like this for a while. Not to hate on the game, but to maybe bring more attention to it, because I would like to see this community gain more players so we can actually have more fair matches and more real competition in there again, and you know, probably like a reward system or something to kind of keep people in check with the cheating. Because cheating is everywhere, you know. A lot of the people in the community will tell you that it's just people with high skill level, but there's a limited player base, which also doesn't help. So there's a lot of different factors that I'm going to be discussing more in detail a little bit later in the video. But just know, those are some of the topics that I really want to address here today. The next kind of match that most people will be regularly a part of or main into is Spoils of War. It's basically you're hunting down these big gold dragons and seeing which team can collect the most gold between the two. You know, the thing is here is people will try to pick fights with enemy teammates and distract them while some other teammates are collecting gold. And well, that's a valid strategy. If you get too wrapped up in the fighting, you won't get enough gold and you'll end up losing. Even if you think the other enemy team is at a severe disadvantage. Things can change on the field here with the, coffin bomber, which explodes the enemy's gold reserve, or just the gem in itself. So, it's best to be aggressive when people are in your zone trying to steal your gold or trying to kill you. But it's better to focus more on the gold as, you saw me do a little bit earlier before I'm just defending things now that my team is in the lead. Another one of those things that I brought up was XP gains being abysmal, to say the least. Sometimes there's a bug that makes it so that even if you do earn the XP, it won't add it to your thing, so you won't be leveling up. But as you can see here, the XP gains are abysmal as is, so you gotta watch out for that bug also, otherwise it's a problem. And then you got events, which can be fun and can offer a lot of different rewards and different incentives. But they tend to bring out people like this, and I blurred out their name, but it was definitely a good indicator of how the match would go. This match was fairly quick, considering there's 3 teams of 4 people each, so 8 enemy members for each team you contend with. The goal is to stay alive. You get 1 life, but if you die on the field and your teammate can pick you up, then they can bring you back to a tower and revive you. Oh, well, at least a couple of times, from what I've seen. And this is not the first match of this that I have played, so how unusual it was that it was harder to kill certain enemy team members, and how fast things happened with my death that is soon upcoming here, as I was headed towards my teammate. None of my fireballs were walking, even though my target was locked on, and I only got hit twice with fireballs from what I saw, and I was dead instantaneously. I know I didn't have a shield, so I can't fully gauge that, but it seemed suspiciously unfair. So there's always stuff that comes into question, but if I ever directly caught anything in my field of view on camera, I will be documenting that, for sure. This one here, this last match that I'm showcasing, is the other problem in the game. Really poor matchmaking system, and the lack of a player base, which is what's causing that main issue. Because you can't properly pair people together who are the same level if you don't have enough people in the first place. And I've been on both sides. I've been on the losing side, which sucks, and I've also been on the winning side here, which you totally know you swamped them and then they were new, unfortunately, because of the such low score, and people just haven't had enough practice, don't know what it's about, and then unfortunately, in the community that I tried to get into, it wasn't a lot of helpful people. Not everyone was helpful, but a lot of people would just say, just practice this or whatever, without showing me or any of that. And I was like, well, we could be a little bit better as a community socially. But here's the game information, if you want it. I want this TeamDB to kind of bring up this fair point. It says it's a 73%, but with the low amount of reviews on there and the low player base, it's kind of hard to, judge that fact. And if you look up to date here, they have a lot of followers. So people are clearly waiting for the game to be improved with what I assume is, the poor anti-cheat system with no report button. And it just makes the player rate and turnover really super high, excuse me. So a lot of people join being interested. It can be fun under the right circumstances, but sometimes it's just not, with that skill gap or with potential cheating or any of that problems that come up and that the developers just don't want to address. I'm not sure. I couldn't really say 100%. My best guess, though, is that if it gets enough attention and people are willing to sink money in it, it'll get taken care of. If not, it won't, and the game will eventually die, which is sad.